In this video, we're going to take another look at Spark. Spark is a mail client for the Mac, iPad, and iPhone. And what we're going to do is look at how we can change the swipe gestures in Spark. When we swipe to the right, do we want it to mark it as unread? Do we want it to mark it as junk? If we do a long swipe, maybe what we'd like to do is delete that. We can swipe to the left or right. Let's first see what this looks like on the Mac. So I'm looking at Spark here, and I have my list of emails here. Now, what do I mean by swipe? Well, basically what you can do with your trackpad or mouse is just swipe to the left or right. So I'm swiping to the right, and here I'm swiping to the left. And basically what we have with this swipe is 4 different functions. We have a short swipe and a long swipe. So I can do a short swipe to the right, and it's going to mark it as read. If I keep swiping, it archives it. So that's the difference between a short swipe and a long swipe. We have the same thing when we go to the left. Short swipe, it pins it. A long swipe, it'll archive it. Now what we can do is we can customize what is available to us or what happens when we swipe. To do that on the Mac, what we do is we go to our Spark's preferences. So I go up to Spark in the menu bar, and then we go over to our preferences. Under Preferences, we have a new window that opens up, and we need to make sure that we're looking at General. And when we're looking at General, you're going to see Swipe Actions. I tap on it, and now what I'm able to do is set what a left short swipe is as well as a left long swipe. Same thing with right. So from here, all I have to do is just go and select what I want it to do. You're going to see that I have Archive in here twice. I have it as a left long swipe, and I have it as a right long swipe. So I'd like to change one of these. All I do is just go over to Archive here, and I select what I want it to do. So I'm going to use snooze. This is one of my favorite features for Spark. So now when I do a right long swipe, what it's going to do is snooze it. You're going to see it also changes the color. So an archive is green. If I go back over and change this to archive, you're going to see that it is green. And when I change it to snooze, it brings it to orange. So each one of these actions here is colorized as well. So now, if I do a long left swipe, it's going to snooze it. Let's see what this looks like on the iPad. So I'm looking at my iPad here, and again, I can short swipe. It's going to mark it as unread. Long swipe, it's going to archive it. I go over to the left. Short swipe is unpin. Long swipe is snooze. Now this does sync with my other devices. So this is why this says snooze. If I were to go to my Mac, let's go back over to my Mac, and I'm going to change that behavior. So I'm going to go to my Preferences here, and we go over to our swipe actions. Let's go and change this to move to spam. So now it's a gray color, and it's going to move it to spam. Now when I go back over to my iPad, you're going to see when I swipe over to the left, it now will mark it as spam. So it does sync across all your different devices. So you don't have to set it up for all of your different devices. You set it up on one device and it'll remember it or sync with all of your other devices. So how do I go and change this on the iPad? Well, basically what we do is we go to our 3 lines here in the upper left-hand corner, and then we go down to our settings here at the very bottom. And then from here, what we do is we go to swipes. When I select swipes, I can go and select which swipe I want to change. So let's move our right long back to snooze. Click on it, and what I'm going to do is put it to snooze, and now it is set to snooze. You can see that the color has changed. And when I go over to my email, if I swipe, it is now orange. Also, we can do this on the iPhone. So I'm looking at my iPhone here, and I swipe to the right, short, long, swipe to the left, short, long. And we can see it is synchronizing. It's back to snooze. How do I change this? I go to the 3 lines, just like on the iPad. I go to Settings down at the bottom, just like the iPad. And then we go to Swipes, and I can go and change this. Any changes I make here will be reflected on my iPad and my iPhone. So those are our swipe gestures and how we can customize them in Spark on the Mac, iPad, and iPhone.